Hey Munro fans, Mike Oakes here with you at the ACT Expo, and today we've got Lars with us, CTO of the Volvo Group. Very excited to have a conversation with Lars. Always, great reputation, love the company, like to hear what's new from a CTO's perspective. And I want Lars to give you a little bit of an introduction just to see, as a CTO, what's the span of influence. What we want to hear just how much fun you get to have. So Lars, if you'd like to introduce yourselves to the Munro Live fans.
It's fantastic to meet you all. My name is Lars Stenqvist, so I'm the CTO of the Volvo Group. I have two roles in the group. I am leading all the engineers responsible for development of our truck brands. We are running 3 truck brands, Volvo trucks, Mack trucks and Renault trucks. So that's approximately 11,000 engineers. On top of that, I'm also then overlooking all other engineering technology activities in the Volvo Group, and that includes construction equipment, buses, autonomous solutions, Volvo Penta, and then you should add another 5,000 engineers. So all in all, 16,000 engineers. I've been in this industry now for more than 30 years as an engineer, and I can tell you, it has never been as exciting being an engineer in our industry as of now.
Yes, for sure. For sure. So on that theme, what's probably all the excitement? What's some of the most exciting things you've been working on lately?
Well, during last years then we have been focusing a lot on our new products for North America. We have invested more than ever in new product lines for both Volvo trucks and Mack trucks. Invested more than ever because we see that North America is a growth market where we see a lot of potential, grabbing more market share, serving customers, making sure that transport just is rolling.
Yes, and we actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we have a customer that is converting their vehicles, that they upfit a Class 7 truck, and they want their customers asking for more electrification. They can't find enough truck chassis to meet that demand, and we proposed to them, reach out to Mack Trucks and Volvo, because their current supplier wasn't giving, they were raising the prices to unreasonable points. It's like there's others in the market.
Sure, and I think that the time is sort of behind us for those ones retrofitting.
Yeah.
Because we are in serial production when it comes to electric trucks up to Class 8 in high volume. And we have been early out. We are pioneers when it comes to electric heavy-duty trucks. We saw it coming around 2015-16, and in the Volvo Group it started with the city bus organization saying this makes sense. Yeah. And my engineers already by then, they designed the electrical components in a very, very smart way. With standardized interfaces to the different vehicle types. So when the market demand was occurring on the truck side, it was rather easy to take the components that once was designed for buses, put them into the trucks, and that is the reason why we were early out. We were the pioneers. That is the reason why we are the clear market leaders in both Europe and North America when it comes to electric trucks.
Yeah. That's impressive, and we've heard that. How about emerging technologies on these trucks, right? That there's the batteries, the motors, like you said, the controls. Is there anything, again, catering to our audience, is there anything you can share that we may be seeing soon that not everybody knows about?
Now, to start with, I think it's very important to share what we are doing when it comes to powertrain technologies, because we believe that we will see much more variety going forward when it comes to powertrains. Yeah. We will see different needs in different regions of the world, so we go rather broad. We go battery electric, as we said. We go fuel cell electric, then based on hydrogen. Yeah. But we have been super clear all the time that there is also a future for combustion engines. for a long time. We don't have an end date for combustion engines, but then running on renewable fuels.
Yeah.
So we are investing a lot. I think it's a rather big surprise to many if I say that last year, 2024, was the record year so far when it comes to investments in combustion engines in the Volvo Group.
Really?
A lot of people, they think that we have already abandoned the technology or defined it as a sunset technology, but there is so much potential still there. So the future, in the future, we will have 3 parallel powertrain technologies: fuel cells on hydrogen, battery electric vehicles, and combustion engines running on renewable fuels, including hydrogen, also then in combustion engines. And I think that's a little bit new to some people.
Yeah, for sure. New to me, so thank you. How about anything else related to like the whole charging infrastructure? We just had a conversation this morning with a group that's providing the whole solution for school districts with buses. So not only the vehicle, but then help with the whole infrastructure, because you got to charge that vehicle. Or in the case of a fuel cell, hydrogen. So where are you guys with the rest of the infrastructure to support the vehicles?
It's clearly so, and I think we have learned all together that this is not just about vehicles. You could maybe say that the vehicles themselves is maybe the easy part of the equation.
Yeah.
Because you need an infrastructure of charging installations, you need availability of energy, and you need a good supply network. So it is truly an equation here. And we have engaged ourselves, for example, in Europe, where we have created a joint venture together with 2 of our competitors. The joint venture is called Milence, with the purpose of setting up a charging infrastructure for heavy-duty trucks. We have by no means any ambitions to build up the only network, but we took this decision a few years ago in order to get started, because it is a little bit of catch-22 situation, you know, without charging infrastructure, no trucks. Without trucks, no charging infrastructure. Right. Someone needs to get started. Here in US, we have engaged in this consortia PACT that is also then trying to influence and stimulate the build-outs of these charging infrastructures, because that is truly needed.
Yeah. And then, so you mentioned some partnerships for charging. How about any partnerships with just R&D in general, right? For, again, like emerging technologies. I keep going back to it because knowing what our subscribers like to hear about. Anything on the partnerships vehicle-wise?
Or more technology-wise then. And for us it is very clear that our landscape has changed completely. If you go back 10 years in time, we were extremely specification-driven. By then we worked with technologies that we had been mastering for decades, and we took small steps. That means that my engineers could write thick books with specifications about the next generation of a component or a system, and then we sent it out to suppliers and asked them to deliver exactly according to our specification. Nowadays then, when we are introducing so much new technology into the portfolio, it's impossible to do those kind of detailed specifications. So today, it's very much about finding those ones that are interested in partnering up with you in a true partnership where you are going in the same direction. In most cases, without knowing exactly all details, but you share a vision that we are going to create this together. We have that in many areas, and we have even gone that far. So in some cases, we have teamed up with our competitors in order to make sure that we can develop technologies. You have that, for example, on the fuel cell side. We have created a joint venture called Cellcentric, together with Daimler Trucks, where we are developing and will produce then fuel cells, the stack, the balance of plant. And we will use then those fuel cell stacks in all our vehicles and in their vehicles, and we intend to sell to third parties as well. The reason for teaming up there is very simple. None of us had the volumes on our own in order to afford the heavy development. We didn't have the volumes to get the right scale when it comes to production.
Yeah.
So this then, teaming up with a competitor in order to stay competitive was the solution here.
And
a lot of partnerships.
And create that standard,
Yeah.
right? That like today, seat belts, right? There's a whole lot of things in a car that people aren't buying the car for that, right? It just makes sense to be, it's common, right?
Nice common. No,
yeah, but
we have another example there going forward when it comes to, there is much more software and software functions in vehicles today. Yes. If you compare to 5 years ago, 10 years ago. But what we have ahead of us is just amazing. It's a revolution. The truly software-defined vehicle. And also in that area, we are setting up a new joint venture called Cortura. In that case, it's also together with Daimler Trucks, where we have the clear intention to develop the computational platform, including base software, up to the level of the operative system, because this is a block that requires enormous investments, but it's not defining the differentiation or differentiating functions between different vehicle manufacturers. It's just a must that you have this computational capacity, that you have the cybersecurity, that you're able of software download, and that you have all this functionality of this basic package. But all the customer-defined functions on top will be developed by Volvo Group on our own, and there we will then be competitor with everyone. So it is one example of this, as you said, what is a must and where is the borderline and where do you have those parts that is defining your competitive edge, your USPs.
Right, to separate you, right? You know your customer and tune it for them. So that's interesting. Haven't heard of that before. So very and wise, I must say.
Thank you.
Spread the CapEx, right? And wise amongst companies that compete, right? That let's recognize where the competition is. Well, I think that's most of the questions that I had. I guess I'll give you a chance that if there's anything you wanted to share with us to wrap it up. But
well, I think, Mike, we haven't touched at all on autonomous transport. And I think it's important for the viewers to understand this, that autonomous driving really makes sense in commercial vehicles. Maybe more sense, at least according to me, than in pass cars, because we have the business case. And in many parts of the world, if not all parts, there is a lack of drivers today. And we see increased demand for transport going forward. So this is not, in first instance, about replacing drivers. It's about adding capacity to the system. And we are extremely serious. We have left all kind of demos or pilot projects behind. We are in serial development. North America, US is very, very important. And we have already today, together with partners, vehicles that are operating in autonomous mode, carrying commercial freight, but still with a safety driver on board, prepared to take over whenever. But we have one more milestone to go, and it's really replacing the safety driver. And we are well underway. That is the next and the final step before we start to roll it out.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And you're right. I don't think of the commercial application of autonomous because we hear so much about the passenger vehicles. That's the chatter. But you're right. I've often thought the same thing. That makes the most sense. Point to point, and many times in areas, could be at times of the day where it's even safer because less people out, that having that ability. So I'm really glad to hear you guys are making a lot of, it sounds like a lot of progress, right? It takes miles to learn and to progress that way. So thank you for sharing that as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. So again, thank you for taking the time with us.
Thanks for having me.
Our subscribers will enjoy it. Till next time, all the Munro Live fans, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends.